Unidentified flying object, or UFO, is defined as any aerial phenomenon that cannot be identified or explained. UFO is something, a disk, a flash of light, an object having the shape of nothing ever seen before. UFO is widely used for claimed observations of extraterrestrial spacecraft. UFOs appear in many forms of fiction as storybooks, movies, TV programs, and video games. Every year, the day July 2nd is celebrated as World UFO Day. On 28th of April 2020, UFO grabbed headlines after Pentagon released 3 Navy videos showing UFOs. Kenneth Arnold UFO sighting occurred on 24th of June 1947 is credited with being the first of the modern era of UFO sightings. Arnold, a US pilot's description of the objects, also led to the terms flying saucer and flying disc as popular descriptive terms for UFOs. The Flying Saucers Are Real by Donald Keyhole, US aviator, was the first published book to use the word UFO. This book investigated numerous encounters between US Air Force fighters, other aircrafts, and UFOs between 1947 and 1950. Project Blue Book was one of a series of systematic studies of UFOs conducted by US Air Force. Study started in 1952, and this project had 2 goals. The first goal was to determine if UFOs were a threat to national security, and the second goal was to scientifically analyze UFO-related data. Thousands of UFO reports were collected, analyzed, and filed. Another project called University of Colorado UFO Project, or Condon Committee, was conducted under the direction of physicist Edward Condon in 1966 to 1968. Result of this work was titled as Scientific Study of UFOs, or Condon Report 1968. As per Condon Report, no UFO reported by the Air Force was ever an indication of threat to national security. All current scientific work on the UFO problem take reference to this Condon Report. USS Nimitz, a U.S. aircraft carrier, UFO incident was one of the best documented UFO sightings in history. In November 2004, 2 fighter jets from the USS Nimitz were flying over the Pacific Ocean. Reported pilot's observation and instrument detection of unknown aerial objects. These objects were flying at an unusual speed and had an unidentified shape. In January 2015, 2 similar cases were reported by fighter pilots of USS Theodore Roosevelt aircraft carrier. There are numerous UFO sighting cases reported worldwide till date. UFO sightings remain mysterious.